Okay, we're going to try to do this as quickly as we can so you can get started on your real PI. But this is the practice PI, and this is due today, so you want to take this out and take a look at it. So what we're going to do is take a look at the axis of symmetry, then the vertex, and all these things. We're going to try to fill all these in first, and then we'll graph it. So we're going to graph and label. So I don't know if you read that in the directions last night. Let's take a look at the axis of symmetry first. Here we have A is 1, B is -5, C is 6. So we're going to take negative B, opposite of B. Opposite of B. B right now is -5. So opposite of -5 becomes +5. So we get 5 over 2 times A. 2A is 1, so I'm sorry, A is 1, so 2 times 1 will be 2. And so the axis of symmetry is x equals 2.5. What do we do with that? You take 2.5 and you're going to plug it in here and here. So you're going to take, you can use a calculator for that, even though it says no calculators. What that means is no graphing calculator. Use a calculator, plug that in. You're going to get 2.5, square it, subtract 2.5 times 5, add 6. You end up getting negative 0.25. So we're going to put 2.5 as our x, comma, negative 0.25 as our y. This is a point with the x being 2.5 and the y being negative 0.25. Is this a maximum or minimum? Well, this happens to be a minimum because the a value is positive, so this is open up. This is going to open up. It's going to be a u, so we're going to circle minimum. Now, zeros. How do we find zeros? You can do the quadratic formula, but since you're not allowed using graphing calculator, this might be tough. Why don't you try factoring? So let's factor this. We're going to factor this as x minus 2 and x minus 3. Simple number game. So we set each part equal to 0, and we find that x equals 2. So the first 0 is 2, and the second one, we set the second part each equal to 0, we get 3. The y-intercept is very simple. It's always the c value. So we get 0, 6 as our last point. Done with our information. Take this information and plot it on the graph. So we're going to try to take a y-axis here. Just do your best on today's PI. Take a y-axis. Notice the points are mostly positive except for this negative 0.25. So I'm going to make a low x-axis, and this will be -1, and then we'll go up from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do your best on that. So we're going to start backwards because this is easy. Plot that point. This will be labeled as the y-intercept. Okay. Next up, we'll go up. The zeros. Zeros are another word for x-intercept. So this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So here we are with our 2 zeros. It's a minimum. So what is a minimum? The vertex. The vertex. So now we plot our vertex on the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry, I do want you to plot with maybe a dashed line. So where is the axis of symmetry? In between, well, it's right here at 2.5. So we're going to draw 2.5 straight in there. Maybe move it over just slightly. Make it right in the middle there. And we're going to label that as the axis of symmetry. So just off to the side, AOS, okay, axis of symmetry. We forgot to label our zeros, and we forgot to plot our vertex. So now we just want to find the vertex at 2.5, comma negative 0.25, which is approximately right about there. And do your best with the parabola here. That's all you do. Done with number 1. Let's take a look at number 2, axis of symmetry. Well, before we start this, we want to check if it's, well, axis of symmetry is the same no matter what. So it's negative b over 2a. So we're going to take negative 6 divided by 2 times 3. Negative 6, because you took the opposite, divided by 2 times 3. That's going to be a grand total of x equals -1. Vertex will always occur on the axis of symmetry. So we're going to take our axis of symmetry, plug it in to our equation. That looks like this, -1 squared plus 6 times negative 1 minus 24. So we're going to do this in our head because we can do mental math, people. You can do it. This is negative 1 squared. It's positive 1. So now we multiply by 3. This is 3. So we have 3 minus 6 minus 24. What's 3 minus 6 minus 24? That's negative 3. That's negative 27. Negative 27 should be your vertex. Is this a minimum or maximum? Well, again, positive a value, so it's open up. It's going to be a minimum. Zeros. Let's check if it factors. Bring out the 3, and we got a much simpler quadratic. Does this factor? Find two numbers and multiply up to negative 8, and that add up to 2. What are those two numbers? Let you think about it while I write this in. So what do we have? We have 4 and 2. Yeah, that's going to work nicely. So we're going to make a positive 4 and a negative 2 as our factors, which means negative 4, because we set that equal to 0. We set this equal to 0, and we're going to get positive 2. And these are our zeros. What's the y-intercept? The y-intercept is clearly negative 24. So 0, negative 24. Okay, and through the magic of the internet, I was able to quickly draw this. So what we have is the zeros at the appropriate point. We have a y-intercept at its appropriate point, and of course, the axis of symmetry drawn and the vertex. Now, you also might notice, hey, that's not negative 27. If you count by threes, this is negative 27. Count by threes, again, down 8 would be negative 24. So here we have all the appropriate points, and we go ahead and draw our, draw our parabola. And we're done. Good luck. Remember, no calculator, except for the rinky-dink ones, and possibly your cell phone, but no graphing calculators.